Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 4 emulation with PS4. Now before I get into too many details here, be patient. PS4 is currently a work in progress, and it's still got a ways to go. However, the PS4 development team just achieved something pretty massive. So brace yourself for this one. Bloodborne is booting. Yes, you heard that correctly. Bloodborne is booting. It is not playable, but it is booting. And here's a look at the compatibility tracker in GitHub. It says game is booting into menu with screen. No video output yet, but broken audio is present. And here is video proof. I'll drop a link to Addy's YouTube video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. It is extremely interesting. No gameplay, but still interesting. PS4 is 100% free. It's open source, and I'll drop a link to the compatibility tracker in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Now, currently there are 94 games listed as playable. Bloodborne is not one of those yet, but at the same time here, this is very impressive. I would argue PS4 looks like it has a bright future. And speaking about bright futures, next up we're talking about the Steam Deck. And this news today came as a very, very pleasant surprise. And it's right from Valve. They're introducing a brand new Steam Deck OLED. This is not the Steam Deck 2, but this has a few improvements on top of the OLED screen. The information is already up on their website, and in my opinion, it's very, very impressive. I mean, the Steam Deck OLED has 30 to 50% more battery life. That is massive. They fit a bigger battery into the case, and the OLED display draws less power, combined with the updated, more efficient AMD APU. On top of that, the Steam Deck OLED comes with Wi-Fi 6E, which is an upgrade over Wi-Fi 5. It offers increased bandwidth and lower latency. This means faster downloads up to 3 times faster. And it's also lighter and cooler, thanks to a bigger fan and updated thermals. The Steam Deck OLED runs cooler. It weighs 30 grams or about 5% lighter than the LCD model. But wait, there is more. If you pick up a 1TB edition, you get a fancy removable case. But wait, there is even more. And in my opinion, this is way more important than a carrying case. The touchscreen's responsiveness and fidelity is vastly improved. Haptics are higher fidelity and more consistent. They've also added a dedicated Bluetooth antenna, improving connections for multiple controllers. And this to me is icing on an already really nicely iced cake. All of the rear case screws are now Torx. I don't really care about Torx, but I do care about screwing into metal threads. It means modding the Steam Deck is a lot less risky to damage it. They say here making disassembly, reassembly possible without impacting structural integrity. Internal components are now easier to access, and Steam Deck OLED replacement parts will be coming to iFixit soon. I'm a massive fan of Valve for embracing this whole repairing and modding mentality, the right to repair. For more details on the screen, they've increased the active area to 7.4 inches up from 7. They've increased the refresh rate to 90 Hz up from 60. The peak brightness is now 1000 nits, and the polling rate has been increased to 180 Hz. For the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, they've added support to wake from a Bluetooth controller. They've improved the audio and added in support for using the onboard microphone array simultaneously with the 3.5mm headphone connector. They've adjusted the analog stick top material and shape for increased grip and dust buildup resistance. And they also adjusted the analog stick post material to improve interaction feel with front cover and reduce wear. They've improved the responsiveness and tactility of the shoulder buttons. They've adjusted the D-pad snap ratio and diagonal interactions. And they've redesigned the trackpad for improved fidelity and edge detection. They've improved the battery capacity from 40 to 50 watt hours. There's now faster charging, and the charging cable is now 1 meter longer. They also say here they've greatly improved memory power management firmware. They've added preliminary support for open source BIOS and EC firmware. Amazing. And they've improved resume time by roughly 30%, also amazing. There are 2 main versions of this OLED, 512 gigs and 1 terabyte, and I find the pricing here fascinating. So for 1 terabyte, it's the exact same price as the LCD 512 gig was when it was launched. And the 512 gig OLED model is $20 more expensive. than the old 256 LCD, and the LCD model has been reduced in price to $400. From my understanding here, the old 64 and 512 gig LCDs are going to be sold until they run out, and then it's just going to be the 256 LCD moving forward if you want to stick with LCD. In my opinion here, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but I'm glad that Valve did not jack up the prices. They kind of did the opposite, which is crazy because this is an improved model. If you're like me and you've already got a Steam Deck, I would argue that you don't really need to sell your existing Steam Deck and buy this new one. I would say it's going to play the games the exact same way, or at least extremely similar. It's not going to warrant selling and buying a new one. Maybe you want to, that's absolutely fine, but I'm 100% happy with my existing Steam Deck here. And if you're in the market for a new Steam Deck, it may be worth it just to pick up the cheaper LCD version. But if you want to get fancy here, that OLED one is very, very attractive. And if you're in Canada or the US, there is a special edition here that's about $40 more expensive. And that gets you the smoky clear shell and some orange accents, which some people would probably sell their Steam Deck to get. Let me know your thoughts about this brand new Steam Deck in the comments below. I am a massive fan here. I like what Valve is doing. I like the right to repair and the repairability and moddability of this. And I like that it doesn't appear they're price gouging. And speaking about Steam, last up here, we're talking about SteamOS like Bazzite. Bazzite is powered by Fedora and Universal Blue. We've talked about it in previous YouTube videos here, and it's an OCI image that serves as an alternative operating system for the Steam Deck, and a ready-to-game SteamOS like for desktop computers and living room home theater PCs. And Bazzite just got a brand new release, version 2.0.2. So with this new version, Bazzite is updated to Fedora 39, and we've got a bunch of fixes and brand new features. For example, here they've added in a basic virtual surround 7.1 config. They've added icons for exe files, and there's even more. If you're looking into Bazzite, I would argue it's starting to become something possibly pretty feasible. Maybe not necessarily on the Steam Deck, but on an HTPC or possibly a desktop computer. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about 3 things today. Let me know your thoughts about any of the 3 things in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you did not like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.